Oh my gosh, good to see you guys. Sorry it's been so long. I had like people come over, my two friends that had the cats, Anthony and Jenna. They came to visit for about a week and they picked up the cats. So I'm just here with me and Charles, my cat, the orange one. So that's really cool. We had a lot of fun. We actually went to an Incubus concert. We got free tickets. I'm not super into them, but I mean, I listened to them a little growing up, and they're pretty popular, and they actually played with Jimmy Eat World, which I actually listened to more when I was younger. But both of the bands were really good, and so that was fun. And then my friend Austin just left yesterday, and he came to visit me for my birthday, so we just hung out and stuff like that. And it was cool because it was like right when I was breaking my fast, so I was able to eat fruit, and like it was easier to be more on the go and stuff because I could just bring fruit with me. And I didn't need to make a bunch of juice all the time. So yeah, and I've been eating salads, guys. I made some raw lasagna last night. I will show you, I have like one piece left. I'll show you guys what I did and how I made it. It's actually a pesto lasagna with cilantro, sunflower seed cheese, and marinated mushrooms. So it actually came out really good, guys, like super good. So first part of this video, someone had asked, and I'm just like, I feel so bad because I really did want to make this video, but how to pick a watermelon. So I'm gonna give you some tips quick on how to pick a watermelon. So the first tip that I can give you is I try to look for ones that are heavy for their size. So when you like go to pick it up, you want to be kind of surprised at like how heavy it is. This one's pretty dang heavy, but it is pretty big, so I didn't really use that one to judge it so much. So heavy for its size. You want the end to look like it's like old. You don't want it to look new or have like a green. Some of the organic ones I was finding, some of the tips right here, it's like a vine that comes off. They're still green and like they don't break off. So that means that they were picked too early. And watermelons don't ripen up. It's like they are what they are. Actually, all fruits are like that except for bananas and avocados. But you can get away with like letting melons ferment, but watermelons you can't really get away with that. The longer they sit, they're just gonna keep getting slimier and slimier and less sweet. So if you cut one open and you see all that slime, that just means that it's fermented and you're not gonna wanna eat it. So that was the second tip, that you wanna look for there not to be like a vine at the end of this one. And then the yellow belly means that it was sitting on the ground and it was ripening on the ground, and there's another spot, so it might have got rolled over. But so the yellow belly, you want your melons to have yellow bellies. And so yellow belly means that it had enough time to ripen on the ground. If you get one that's all uniform color, it's probably picked too early. And then the last tip I can give you is, I just learned about this one, and I would tell you who I learned it from, because I don't like to think that I came up with everything, because obviously fruit's been around forever. But these little spots on there, I guess, mean that the flowers were pollinated, or it was like something about the bees pollinating it. I could be totally wrong, but ever since I learned that trick, I've been looking for the little like it's almost like cracks, like that, So I've been looking for that, and my watermelons have been way consistent. Like I usually get them good with the first three tips: heavy for its size, yellow belly, and the vine part. So I usually get them good, but then once I started adding in this step, and just like checking for that, I've been like super impressed with all the melons. I think I've had one bad melon that I picked, and then I got a bad melon that my friend got me from a farmer's market. But other than that, like I haven't had a bad melon, especially if you're juicing it. If you're juicing it, it doesn't need to be as sweet. So like in general, if you're eating raw too, or like just eating a lot of fruit, and that's your diet, then I would actually, if you ever get an unsweet, like I wouldn't do this if it's fermenting, but if it's just not that sweet, it's kind of like more pink than red on the inside, and it doesn't have that like sugar coating that the good melons have. It's almost like a texture to it. Then I would just juice it, throw some lime in there, and have it more like a refreshing drink. It's not even gonna be that sweet when you juice it, but it'll just kind of be like a hydrating drink rather than trying to force yourself to eat not a good watermelon. But yeah, So those are my tips for melons. The last tip that I'll give you is sometimes fruits that look ugly are gonna be the sweetest, best fruits. So never judge a fruit by its cover, because you never know what sweet stuff is hiding inside of it. All right, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Pesto lasagna, guys, here it is. So I use avocado in the pesto, so it's not as bright green as it was last night. But let me tell you, last night it was shining beautifully. But I made some layers here. So I just have layers. I got the marinated mushrooms. I made cilantro seed cheese. And I have the pumpkin seed avocado pesto. And all these recipes are going to be in my recipe book that I'm working on. And last night was a cool opportunity. The lasagna wasn't in the book, but I might add it now as just like a bonus recipe. But the mushrooms, the pesto, and the cilantro seed cheese are all going to be in my recipe book, which I came up with all the recipes while I was fasting, and I put all the amounts down that sounded good in my head. So last night I was able to make the recipes, 3 of them at least, and kind of see how close I was. And let me tell you, I had to just add a little bit more lemon than I thought to the pesto, and a little bit of water, more water to the cheese than I expected. But other than that, it was like perfect. So yeah, look out for that recipe book, guys. I still don't know what I'm going to charge. It's going to be like 25 to 30 recipes, and they're all going to be kind of gourmet, but also very easy at the same time. Kind of like this one, like it's so flavorful, but it's just it was so easy to make. So yeah, but let me know if you guys are going to be interested in that recipe book, because I want it to be perfect, and I just really want people to be able to make these kind of recipes that just taste good and remind you of stuff that you've already had, but in my own way. Like there's a lot of raw recipe books, but I think I have a really good palate, and I mean, you guys can be the judge, obviously, but yeah, I just really want to share this skill that I have with you guys, and I hope that, you guys are going to be interested in something like this. But yeah, if this looks good to you, stay tuned for some more recipes coming up on this channel.